I can hear you, Joe. Joe, welcome. And it's been, I don't know, almost 2 years, about 2 years since your last world title opportunity. How excited are you to once again get a crack at a light heavyweight world title?
I mean, I'm very excited. This is what we all work for.
Yes, that is true, and I think you showed that with your wins, two upset wins. I don't know, Joe. The bookmakers don't seem to like Joe Smith because against Jesse Hart and against Eleider Alvarez, he was the betting underdog, and proved the odds makers wrong once again. Also, again, everybody, same thing. Raise hand button or message me privately if you have a question. Joe Smith is on the line, Joe DeGuardia is on the line, and Todd the Buffer on the line. So whomever you'd like to ask a question, just please let me know, and we will get to that. Our first question comes from Jeremy Harridges. Jeremy, please unmute and go ahead.
Hi, Joe. Thank you for taking the time. I'm curious about how familiar are you with Maxim Vlasov? How much film have you studied, and are there any particular fights that you've paid attention to?
I watched a few of his fights. I've been paying attention to the more recent ones, but as far as I see, he's just a very busy, durable guy.
Obviously, he's got some size to him. He's fought as heavy as cruiserweight.
I just lost.
Jeremy, that was my bad, Jeremy. I accidentally muted you. Please start the question.
No worries, it's all good. My question for you, Joe, was obviously he's got some size to him. He's fought as a cruiserweight before. How do you trump size with a fighter? How do you work around that?
Honestly, I like fighting bigger guys and taller guys. So I'm just gonna do what I do. Stay busy and use my jab and work my way inside.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Joe, it looks like your video is off. So if I don't know if the reception where you are is not great, but if you can turn the video on, that would be greatly appreciated. I think the reporters would rather see you than them. Just a hunch there. So we will continue with Keith.
My video's on.
There we go. It says yes. Keith Eidick, please. No, yeah, we're just getting a blank screen with you, Joe. But hey, if the video's not working, we can deal with the audio. So Keith Eidick, you should be unmuted. So please go ahead when ready, sir.
Oh, hey, Joe. Max Vlasov said on his portion of the call that anyone who underestimates him will be very surprised on Saturday night. What do you think just overall? I know you mentioned that he's a busy guy and a durable guy, but maybe how does he compare to some of the fighters that you fought recently, particularly elite level fighters like Alvarez and Dmitry Bivol?
Joe, Joe, you there, sir? I guess Joe Smith's having a minor technical issue. So while we wait for him to rejoin us, well, hold on one second. I see him back on. So give me 1 second, Keith. And then when he logs back on, please re-ask the question.
Sure.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, Joe. We can hear you. Keith, please re-ask that question.
I heard him. I just
beautiful.
I don't know what's.
Joe, can you hear us now? Well, while we wait for Joe to fix his technical issue, we got the other Joe. There we go, Joe. We can see you on video. Hold on 1 second, Joe, stay right there, and please, and your answer. You can answer Keith's question. We can see you perfectly. Stay right there.
Well, he's got a lot of experience. He's he seems like all-round good fighter. He's got good right hand, and compared to the other fighters I fought, I mean, he's I say he's up there. I don't underestimate him and his skill. Like I said, he has a lot of experience. So we're just gonna have to see what happens.
Thank you, Joe.
And thank you, Keith. We're going to go ahead to JR Bell. JR, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Now, going off of your last fight that you had with Eleider Alvarez, did you think that was one of the best performances that you had in your career going into this fight for the WBO world title?
Yes, I believe my last fight with Alvarez was definitely one of my best performances. He was an elite level guy. He was a former world champion, and I showed up and I dominated him.
Thank you, JR. Joe, Joe Smith, the video is a little choppy. So while we wait just to get that a little cleared up, Joe DeGuardia, Joe Smith just mentioned that he thought the Alvarez performance was sort of the peak of his career. In your opinion, was that the best you had ever seen Joe in the ring?
Well, when you put everything together and you're talking from start to finish, the boxing, the punching, the pressure, yes, I love the performance. I thought he did an excellent performance against Alvarez, and it was from start to finish, and he dominated a guy who had never been dominated like that ever. Knocked out a guy that was a former world champ. I thought it was a great performance. I've been thrilled by a lot of performances by Joe because he's got that one punch knockout power. So, I like the Bernard fight, the knockout of the ring. I love the Fonfara fight. But, yeah, I think the Alvarez fight all together from soup to nuts, start to finish, was his top performance.
And, you mentioned the Fonfara fight, which was sort of introduced Joe to the boxing community at large. I think you and Ron Katz probably weren't too surprised with the Fonfara fight, but Fonfara was a 30-1 favorite. People forget that going into that fight, and he was an underdog in the Hopkins fight as well, and so he upset the odds on both of those occasions, which were obviously two of his best performances. We will get back to the questions here. Stephen Carreno, please unmute and ask the question for either Mr. DeGuardia or Joe Smith when ready.
Hello, Joe Smith. Good to have you, man. Thank you for your time. With the mostly pound-for-pound consensus, Canelo kind of looming around 175, 168. Does that add anything extra to having a title at light heavyweight, knowing that, you might get that call to fight the best fighter in the world, being that you have something that, obviously he's going for with a title at 175?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Everything that this title has to offer is motivating. There's a lot of big fights out there once you get a belt. So, I'm really looking forward to securing this WBO World Championship so I can get those big fights.
Thank you, Stephen. And Crystal Hart, she has a question for Joe DeGuardia. Crystal, please unmute and ask the question for Joe DeGuardia when ready.
Okay, Joe, it's so great to see you and Lou DiBella. Made my day. But what I wanted to ask you is Maximum said he summarized Joe Smith as direct, simple, and predictable. What are your thoughts on that?
I love it. Joe is direct, simple, and predictable. He's predictable to be a thrilling, exciting fight. He's predictable to land that hammer right hand that he's got. And, I love that Joe, the fans know that when you're watching a Joe Smith fight, you can predict excitement, thrilling action, and the things that you want to see in a fighter. So those are the things that I look at as being predictable in Joe.
Thank you, Crystal. And I think, and very well said, Mr. DeGuardia. Ivan Montiel, please unmute. And you have a question for Joe Smith, and go ahead when ready.
Hey, Joe Smith Jr., we're excited to see you back in the ring after your spectacular performance against Alvarez. So many still remember your win over Hopkins and, of course, this most recent win over Alvarez. Pretty much you knocked out Alvarez out of the ring just like you did with Hopkins. So could we possibly see this again in your upcoming fight?
It's definitely something that's possible. I mean, you know, I don't go in there looking for the knockout or always expecting the knockout, but you know, this fight I'm going in, you know, with everything I got. You know, I'm going to give it my best, and you know, if I could get him out of there, I'm definitely going to do that.
Well, thank you, Ivan, and we will wrap it up. No need for 3-hour conference call. We keep it short and sweet here at Top Rank. But before we go, I want the final thoughts from Joe DeGuardia first. Joe, you know, I know you've been around a lot of camps with Joe Smith. You've been through the broken jaws and everything. What have you seen from him in this camp? I mean, you obviously, he's your guy. You seem confident. But what especially have you seen from Joe Smith in this camp that makes you confident that the WBO title will be his come Saturday evening?
You know, I see everything coming together as it has the whole, you know, past year and a half. The Hart fight, the Alvarez fight, and this is the culmination, and we keep building upon it. And Joe, I think, is right there mentally, physically. He's at his peak, and I saw it in this camp as well. He's got great people working with him. I know Capobianco has been working very hard with him, and I'm hearing great things. And I think Joe's just there, mentally, physically. He's at the top of his game.
Thank you, Joe DeGuardia. Joe Smith, for your final thoughts. I did want to ask you, you know, you can fold this into your final thoughts. Long Island and New York City and the whole Metroplex has been crushed with snow, 12, 18 inches. These last couple of weeks, you know, in the last portion of camp, how have you sort of dealt with the unintended weather and Mother Nature as you finished your final stages of camp?
Couple extra hours of training by an exercise by shoveling, so that was good. got a good arm and back and leg workout, you know, shoveling all this snow.
I think after Joe, after you win the title, you can hire somebody to shovel snow for you, right?
No, I don't mind it. I enjoy being out there and shoveling the snow. Gives me an excuse to play in it.
And Joe, as you're leaving for Vegas, I believe tomorrow. So give us your final thoughts as you're 24 hours away from flying out west for your world title shot.
No, just as Joe was saying, and my trainer Jerry Cap, you know, I'm in the best shape of my life, physically and mentally prepared, and very motivated to put on a great show and take home that belt. It's what I've been training for. This is my second opportunity, had a world title, and, you know, I just want to secure that belt this time and bring it home.
Well, I believe
so, everyone could just go out there and give it the best.
I believe, and I don't have my numbers, I believe if you do so, you'll be the fourth male boxer from Long Island to bring home a world title. Buddy McGirt, Chris Algieri, and I'm forgetting one, so my apologies to whoever I'm forgetting. So you would make a little history if you do so on Saturday night. Thank you, Joe Smith. Thank you, Joe DeGuardia, for joining us on this portion of the call. Just a reminder to everybody, Jamel Herring. Jamel Herring is the other world title. How did I forget Jamel Herring, a top-ranked fighter, as the other Long Islander to have won a world title? My apologies, Jamel Herring. Hopefully he does not see that. Jamel Herring was the other one. So again, reminder to everybody, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN Saturday night with Smith Vlasov and Comey Marinez. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have a bunch of great fights on ESPN Plus. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us today. And we will see you at the press conference Thursday, weigh-in Friday, fight night Saturday. Again, thank you. And we'll see you then. Cheers.